Finca Ferrer, Lorca, and Milan. And we're going to do the three of them in that order. And to start for today, we'll try and do this an hour and a quarter, but we'll see how it goes with the number of questions and such. And first is Marcos from Finca Ferrer, and he's the winemaker there. And I'll go over to Marcos.
Well, hello, thank you, Michael, for the introduction. Hola a todos, and good afternoon to all Opimian members, and welcome to Finca Ferrer. So I want to thank Opimian team for this opportunity. So we start the harvest this week, so everything is okay for the moment. Well, the last year when I said a few minutes ago, the last year was complicated about the pandemic for get people to pick up the grapes. So I hope this year will be okay. So I want to say sorry for my Argentinian English. I really hope you can understand what I say. And
absolutely, we can.
Okay.
And much better than my Spanish, Marcos. Your English is much better than my Spanish.
No, I don't think so. Well, I'm going to talk about some of our wines. You will see them from lot number 2316 to 2323. So my English teacher told me, don't say 23, 23. Okay.
Nicely done.
So, but first, let me introduce myself. My name is Marcos Gutila. I'm winemaker, the winemaker of Finca Ferrer. I graduated from university in 2008 and started working as an intern in a winery. And I spent 5 years at the enologist lab until 2012, when I met the manager of the Frigerio group. And after that, some years later, I had the chance to work for a season in United States, in Washington State, and also in France, in the Languedoc region. So eventually I come back to Finca Ferrer, and I have been working here for the last 4 years, maybe. Yes, and our vineyard story starts in the late 90s. And at the moment, we were part of the Frigerio group. But the company only sold sparkling wine in Argentina, but there were no vineyards and no cellar in this moment. So after that, in 2001, Pedro Ferrer, together with his family, had the vision to invest in one of the now, I think, most prestigious lands in the world. I am talking about Guadalajara region, where nowadays is Finca Ferrer. It is in 2018 when the Ferrer family decided to start their own personal project, and this is when Ferrer Miranda begins. No? Finca Ferrer is a part of the Ferrer Miranda group with 3 wineries in Spain. These 3 wineries is located in the most prestigious region in Spain, like La Rioja, Ribera del Duero, and Rías Baixas. And we are in Argentina, so the four winery is Finca Ferrer. Our vineyard is located in Mendoza province, in Uco Valley.
Mendoza.
Yes. We are located in Mendoza province, in Uco Valley, at 1,300 meters above sea level, and we have 60 hectares of vineyards. So the Uco Valley has currently 28,000 hectares of vineyard, which 50% of them are for Malbec. And in our case, our vineyard has the 40% of its land only for Malbec. So, you know, Malbec is the varieties that represent us, no? The weather in Mendoza is dry with little rain. In the Gualtallari region, we have mainly winds from the south, and our finca is situated at the foot of the Andes mountain, so we get a lot of sun during the day. So one of the most important characteristics of Gualtallari is the thermal amplitude, so which makes the maludation period longer. So it's allowed to keep a good quality of juice. It's helped to us obtain to good quality of must with a good level of acidity, of natural acidity. So we don't need to make a lot of correction in the wines in order to keep the fresh the fruit in mood, no? So this right condition for harvesting with cold nights, bright days, sandy and fruitful and permeable soil give the birth to our fruity wines. So our finca has a drip irrigation, which comes from the top of the mountain, but in Mendoza is very important to the water, because we don't have a lot of
irrigation.
Yes. So you know, in Mendoza every year we have a hydric emergency, you know, because the quantity of water available is not a lot, and well, it's a very important to mention this.
But well, Marco, the upside of that is that you get good concentration in the grapes, right? Because yes, with low water, then you get lots more flavor and yes.
Yes. Also, one thing that I forget to mention, we have a very low yield for hectares. So we have 7 tons for hectares of yield. So it's made to obtain very concentration wines, a lot of color, a lot of fruit, and also with a great potential of aging, with a great aging potential. So you understand me?
Yes, and I think I'll repeat that for people, is that you were saying that it's a low yield per hectare.
Yes,
because and yield. Therefore when you have fewer grapes per hectare, you get better taste and more depth of flavor.
Exactly. Okay. So as you can see there, these are all the wines which are 100% made with grape from our vineyards, and also the one you see in your document. So I don't know, you can see all brands.
Yes. And you're going to taste the Malbec for us now?
Yes. well, we don't have a lot of time, so I will specifically talk about 3 of them. Well, the first one is Accordion Chardonnay. So it is lot number 2316. And this wine is hand harvested. So let me introduce with the Chardonnay and next the Malbec, if you want, please. The wine is hand harvested during the last week of February and the 1st of March. The fermentation takes place in steel tanks between 15 temperature of degrees of temperature, and it lasts around 10 days. So we used to keep the wine with a fine lees. We used to make a maduration on the fine lees. Sorry, for almost 15 days. And we use medium toasted hog steak for approximately 2 months. One, regard to testing notes, at the nose, spicy oak aromas slightly dominate the exquisite fragrance of white fruit. And in the mood, it's very fresh and fruity with medium intensity. The final flavor is pleasant, delicate, and fruity. And this wine is great to drink with fresh melon on light cheeses. So the next wine is Finca Ferrer Malbec. The vintage is 2017. This is lot number 2320. Okay, I have the wine here. And this wine is also hand harvested. The average yield is about 7 tons per hectare, like I say. And the harvest is on the 3rd or 4th week in March. The fermentation takes place in steel tanks and lasts for about 10 days, depending while we are elaborated, we test every day, and maybe we keep more time in contact with the skin, you know. The fermentation, well, after fermentation, the wine is oak matured, 10% in French oak barrel for 11 months, and 90% with French oak estate for 5 months. And about the testing note, it is a youthful and deep purple Malbec. The aromas of blueberry, ripe blackberries, vanilla creams, and oak spicy are present. And also in the palate, in the mood, black fruit and oak flavors with a pleasure background. This
And
wine
Marco,
is...
there's a question from Claire, who's drinking the 2015 right now. And how does that compare to the 2017 that you have?
The Finca Ferrer Malbec?
Yes.
Okay. Well, in the offer is Finca Ferrer, because I think the last year was 15, and this year we offer vintage 17.
And how does the taste compare? Do you remember the 15?
Yes, of course. Mm-hmm. Well, the Finca Ferrer vintage Malbec vintage 15, I think was a little bit more hawk spicy notes in the mood. So we keep more time on barrel, and also how do you say, a more percentage of the wine in barrel, so you can find more like a ripe red fruit, like a more matured red fruit, and well, and with a supple tannins, with a very skinny. Sorry for my English.
No, it's okay. And so just so you know, Will has put some tasting notes in the chat, so everybody have a look in the chat. And also Kim Tien has shared the tasting notes from 2015. Good job, Kim Tien. Where the heck did you find those? That's fantastic. So she bailed you out there, Marcos. No problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, finally, we have Dos Cumbres that we have there. And this is lot number 23. Sorry, Michael, I don't know if we have time to.
Yes, you go right ahead. If you'd like to taste this one.
Well, I have a Finca Ferrer to test.
Okay. Yes, but please talk about the Dos Cumbres. Am I saying that right? See how bad my Spanish is? Dos Cumbres 2323. Do you want to talk a bit about that?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Wait. This wine is a blend. Its composition is 65% Malbec, 20% Syrah, 10 Cabernet, and 5 Tempranillo. And this type of wine is only produced during those years we consider having exceptional outcomes, and when grape quality have proved to be remarkable. And this is the reason why this wine can be found every single year on the market. And this lot has a limited quantity of 4,600 bottles. Dos Cumbres is hand harvested in boxes of 20 kilograms, and inside when we have the grapes in the cellar, every cluster of wine is selected. The fermentation process is done in a steel tank with over maceration up to maybe 20 days, 30 days, depending of the testing. And this then it is aged for 18 months in barrel. Well,
and it's a 2015, so you've already done some of the aging for us. Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate that. And again, Will has put some tasting notes in the chat for everybody to read. Intense and serious, but still showing brightness. And he attributes that to the altitude and the sunshine. I'm sure you would agree, Marcos.
Oh yes. Wait.
Yes.
So, well, do you want to test with the audience?
If you'd want to go, you've talked about your tasting notes as you've gone, so that's okay, unless you have something to add. What's in your glass? Is it the Malbec?
This is a Finca Ferrer Malbec.
Right. Okay.
I don't know if the people.
Yes, excellent.
And well, just like I say,
you've got 2 more minutes, and then you're done. Then you can relax.
No, don't.
Yes.
Well,
we have another question. So the accordion Malbec 2317 compared to the estate Malbec 2320. So do you know those two, the accordion compared to the estate Malbecs?
Yes, in the case of accordion Malbec, so we try to reflect the potential of the terroir in accordion Malbec. So we this wine is hand harvested also. All wines is hand harvested, and we decided to, also we tried to make a wine more fruit with hop. We use a state hop, but with bit percentage of wine. So we try to make a fruity wine and to enjoy with food, not a lot spices, you know. How do you say condimentos?
Spicy, yes.
Spicy, yes.
Yeah.
So, well, the idea with accordion is to enjoy every day. So, with it's a easy drink wines.
We call them Monday night wines, Marcos.
Sorry?
Monday night wines for drinking early in the week.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And then the estate wines you can start drinking Thursday and, you know, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yes. Yes. So in Accordion Malbec, we changed the time. So, you know, we start harvest with Accordion maybe at the beginning of March. So, and at different with Finca Ferrer, it's at the end of the March. So you can find another nut in another kind of fruit, you know. So Finca Ferrer is more matured, more ripe red fruit, and Accordion is more fresh fruit, more blackberries, and so, you know.
Great. Thank you, Marcos. We really appreciate your taking the time, and your English is brilliant. So you needn't apologize. That's great. And Will has put some more notes in the chat for everybody to read, so it's there for you. And we will have some general questions at the end if you wanted to come back to the Finca Ferrer wine. So thank you, Marco.
Okay.
And we'll go on to Mr. Mauricio Lorca. And I hope I'm going to try not to take too much of your time, Mauricio, but I do have to talk about your visit here to Canada. That I was the area rep for the Kitchener-Waterloo area, and Mauricio arrived and our restaurant canceled on the day before the event. So we had to move the event into my house. And luckily I have a fairly large dining room and downstairs. And so Mauricio and I, we went to the St. Jacobs Farmers Market. I don't know if you're familiar with it, those of you that aren't from Ontario, but he and his wife go to farmers markets at home all the time. So he just had a lovely time taking pictures all day long. But the thing that I love most, Mauricio, was that we went to the Cellar store, a department store, a supermarket on the way home to pick up some more things, because we had to cook this dinner to do with Mauricio's wines. And they had the little wine kiosk, and he got to try Wayne Gretzky wine in a Dixie cup. It was just hilarious. If you remember that, that was so cool. And then you came to the house and helped me barbecue cheese. I can still remember that we did the barbecued. That's an Argentinian specialty. Yes. So anyway, I've spoken enough. You know how much I enjoy your wine, sir, and how much we enjoyed having you. And when you were finished here in Ontario, we threw you on the bus and sent you to Niagara Falls, if you remember, for the day.
Exactly.
And you got to see Niagara Falls. So it's wonderful to visit Argentina vicariously today through you. So thank you, and it's over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, Mark. I really enjoyed that visit in Canada. That was many years ago, I think. I don't remember exactly, but
yeah,
at least 5 years.
It wasn't too long. 3 or 4 years.
3 or 4 years, yes.
Yeah.
Was my first time in Canada, so I really enjoyed that. I knew a lot about the country, the culture. We did many different tasting, and all was great. Well, talking about me, I am Mauricio Lorca. I am the owner and the winemaker of Bodega Mauricio Lorca. I have many years supplying wine to Opimian. I meet Jay Master and hold the team many times. And for me, I really enjoy this because it's fantastic, you know, to have a group of members, people that really like wines. And every year to try, I have the challenge, you know, to create something else, something different, something unique, to just to surprise you guys, okay, the members. It's my job. It's what I like to do. Soon you will see something from Spain. I'm making wine in Spain. So my first vintage was 2020. So probably next year we are going to have something, hopefully, if J Master approve the quality, we'll see. But it's a very challenging to make wine in other country, you know, because it's totally new. Well, I would like to introduce my company. My winery is located in Luján de Cuyo, probably the premium wine region in Argentina. And the vineyards, I have something like 150 hectares in Yuco Valley in two different regions. One is Los Árboles, 1,250 meters above sea level. And the other region is Vista Flores, where I have two different vineyards. Okay, both are located at the altitude of 1,100 meters above sea level, more or less average. One of the most important wine, when somebody asks me, Mauricio, which is your favorite wine, or which is the wine that you really are proud or more proud than other one, you know? So I always say this one, you know, the Mauricio Lorca Opalo. The Opalo range, you know, it was my first wine. This is special because in 2003, I start to make wines without oak, high quality, no oak. Imagine the time during that period, most of the winemakers and wineries and everybody in the world, I think, were following Robert Parker's score, and everybody was speaking about oak, overripe grape, no fresh fruit, you know. So to have that style in 2003 was quite crazy. In fact, most of the people say, Mauricio, you are crazy. Why you are launching your winery with an oak wine, high quality? And I say, well, you know, I am convinced that the quality in Argentina is quite unique. The expression of the fruit, the typicity of the grape is special because the combination of so many, I don't know, weather condition, I can say, for example, continental weather, altitude, dry weather, the quality of the soil, you know, the purity of the environment, the quality of the water, all that gave us the opportunity to produce unique wines. So that was my goal, you know. So one of the vertical tasting you are going to have now is the Opalo Malbec 2015, 17, and 19. Okay?
And then there's the way the label looked before, right?
Yes.
And now you've changed the label this year. So
exactly, I changed the label this year. Well, I changed every label, so it's like more focus in Mauricio Lorca is the idea, my name. So it's the reason why we decide to change the label. So talking about these three vintage, the 2015 was quite, I can say, more colder than the normal in Mendoza. We had a little more rain than the normal too. So we had to decrease the yield more than the normal too, because we need the ripening, to aim the right ripening, you know. So we remove shoots, we remove leaf, we did some green harvest to decrease the yield and looking for more concentration. The 2017 for me was one of the best vintage I remember. It was fantastic. After the 16, that was the worst vintage in Argentina. In fact, I didn't make any high quality wine during the 16 vintage because I didn't trust, you know, in terms of quality. And the 2019 is again a good one. so you are going to have 3 very good wines, and you can see how can evolve, a wine without oak. Most of the people ask me, Mauricio, why for many years the producers were telling us wines that can age have to be aging in barrel, And I say, well, that is because maybe those producers it doesn't have they don't have enough quality, in terms of grapes. For me, my philosophy, 90% of the wine is making in the vineyard. So the most important is to control the quality, to manage the vineyard properly. At the end, if you have a good grape, finally the wine is going to be good. So after that, you can decide if the wine can age in barrel or just stay with original taste. Okay, so this is the objective in Opalo, is to show the true expression of the terroir and the grape to the customers. Is my goal, is to try to get to your glass, guys, the authentic typicity, in this case, of the Malbec from Vista Flores, with our philosophy. This vineyard has an special, the conduction is quite different compared with the normal conduction in Argentina. For example, the density vines is almost 7,000 vines per hectare. So the idea is to produce very, very low yield of grape per vine, looking for the maximum concentration. Okay, that is one of the things. The other thing is the orientation of the roux. The roux, normally, we use north to south, so you get more or less 50% morning sunlight and 50% afternoon sunlight. Okay, I turn that to northwest, southeast, looking for to have more sunlight from the morning than the afternoon. That gave me the opportunity to have a better balance in both sides of the vineyard, okay? Because north to south directly, normally when the grape is ripe in the afternoon side, can be green in the morning side of the line. I don't know if you understand the idea, but it's I was looking for a perfect balance, okay? So that is the other important thing. And bueno, Marcos spoke about drip irrigation, which is totally important for us. Something important about the irrigation, we can control the growing of the vine, okay? So at the beginning of the spring, we irrigate a lot, looking for to charge the soil with water. Okay, so when the spring come, the vines start to grow. Okay, and can have enough water to grow easy and happy. Okay, after we get something like 1.2 meters in the shoot, the long of the shoot, we start to decrease the water and we start to control the growing, okay? This is important because we can mature the vine at that time, and all the energy that the leaf produce goes to the clusters, which is the most important for us. We are looking for to create good skin, good concentration, and good color, okay? So that is one of the things we can do with irrigation. There are not many places around the world that have this opportunity. So I think it's a great advantage compared with other places. And the other one I would like to explain you.
And before you do that, we're
Yeah.
getting lots and lots of conversation here about the Petit Verdot that you
Yeah.
made for Founder's Choice in the past. And
Yeah.
then the one that's under the Lyrical label is not the same as the Founder's Choice, correct?
Yeah. This is the wine. Yeah.
And so that was the Founder's Choice label. So
yes. Exactly.
Okay.
Last year.
Right. Okay. So now I understand. They were just asking. So it would be it's exactly similar, Claire, because it's the same wine. So there you are. No, that's great.
And
Okay.
so what was the question, Michael?
It was that whether the Petit Verdot for Founder's Choice was similar to the Lyrico Petit Verdot, and it is exactly the same wine.
Yes, exactly. Yes,
Right.
yes.
Yes.
Well, sorry. And so the next one I would like to speak
Yes,
to talk
please,
is
go
about
ahead.
the
Sorry to interrupt.
No, it's okay. The Sapan Sukum. Okay, Sapan Sukum is my first organic wine. Even is the first production. Okay, and this is special because I was looking for the right place or the right terroir where to produce this wine. So I choose La Rioja. La Rioja is located 600 kilometers to the north of Mendoza. The weather there is drier than Mendoza. There is no more than 100 millimeters of rain per year if you have lucky, no more than that. And the soil is totally sandy, and it is very deep and permeable. So we can control the growing and the yield in a very easy way. Okay, so the quality of the grape is fantastic. I remember something like 15 years ago, I was talking with one producer in La Rioja, and he was proud because he said, you know, I am picking the grape and I didn't apply anything. And I say, wow, anything? Yes, nothing. It's totally organic. He said that, and I, you know, and I think, why this guy is not making organic wine here if they don't need to apply anything, you know? So finally, I signed an agreement with that producer, and we agreed to start to make the certification in that vineyard. And now we are making the wine organic. So Sapan Sukum is my first organic wine. In this case, it's 100% Malbec. Soon I'm going to have another grape like Cabernet Sauvignon, probably Torrontés from that region, which is very typical to have it. And I'm very proud because I think it's something new, different, and the region, you know, is quite unique in terms of health, okay, of the environment, because there is nothing around. There are no factories, there is no pollution. It's totally clean. So I think it's a great place to produce this kind of wine. So this is another new thing I am producing for Opimian now.
And you know, we have now paired that with one of your recipes for the grilled sirloin, and we've published it. And I actually did a video of my cooking that meal and put it on Facebook this past Friday, so everybody can have a look for that. I love the way you say it better than I do. I say zapam zukum, but you say zapam zukum. What?
Sapam sukum. Sapam sukum.
Yes, I'll never get that right. But I didn't have it here, but I've ordered it for next year, and I'll do this recipe again, and we'll do a piece on that. We do have another question that because the Lyrico Malbec's not offered by us this year, which of your other Malbecs would be closest to the Lyrico?
Well, is the Lorca Fantasia Malbec.
Fantasia,
let me check. Yes, it's the 2308. Okay.
Great.
That is closer of that wine we were making last year.
Great, thank you very much. Okay, and
you're very welcome.
Yes, and so and we do have the Tomatico. We've offered that line again, and the Apollo.
Yes.
And is exactly. The Apollo branded more premium than the Poetico line?
Well, they are totally different, Michael. The Poetico line are aging in oak. The Apollo range is totally an oak. Okay, it's the premium wine without oak, and the Poetico range normally are aging in oak.
Right, and you mentioned that people thought you were crazy when you started making unoaked wines, and you are a little crazy, right? Like, you're willing to admit that.
Oh,
No,
you
that's
know,
right.
somebody you have to do that something you really believe. You know, it is important. It's your personality. I have a history behind this wine without oak because I was winemaker for Catena, for Luigi Bosca, for Finca La Celia, many very well-known wineries in Argentina. And when I was working in Luigi Bosca, one of the new projects I showed them was to create high quality wines without oak. And the owner said, no, 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 the market don't understand this. So we are not going to do something like that. And after I left the company, I asked them to take to my home, to bring some bottle to my home of this experience, you know, because I was making the wine, I bottled the wine, and I was tasting the wine and following for many years. And there were something like 20 bottles remain of this style, and I took to my home and I follow, you know, during my period in Finca La Celia, the evolution of the wine without oak, and I say, okay, this is my opportunity, you know, to make wines unique style without oak. And finally, I did with my own project. You know, it's a good thing because if you crash something, it's your own company. You don't crash
Right.
other companies. You know, it's
Yes, right. Yeah, and we almost have to move on. If Alfredo, just hang on another couple of minutes here because we've got a question about the Pedro Jimenez, the Fantasia. Do you want to talk a little? We didn't
yeah.
ask you to talk about that, but if you would like to say a few
Bueno,
words about that,
yes,
of
the
the
Pedro
Fantasia.
Jimenez.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
very yes, I very proud about that wine because that vineyard is located where I was born in Rivadavia, okay, in the region of El Mirador. I had the opportunity to buy this vineyard a few years ago, and I bought that vineyard because the vines were very old, probably 60, 70 years old. And I was trying to find uh, a right style for a wine, you know, to promote and to promote that region because nobody speak about Rivadavia, El Mirador in Argentina. You know, today Yucco Valley is look like the only region in all country. You know, so to say La Rioja, to say Rivadavia, you know, I'm very proud about that. So Pedro Jimenez is a grape that is in the same family of the Criolla grapes. Okay, we have in Argentina Criolla, Moscatel, and Pedro Jimenez. Probably are the oldest vines we have in Argentina. And the wine is very fresh, easy drink. In fact, I showed that wine to an importer I have in UK, and now is my first exported white grape to the UK market. So
wow.
they became crazy. I picked the grape very early, looking for the natural acidity. So the wine is very fresh. Remember a lot of fruit like apple, pear, that kind of fruit. In the mouth is very easy drink, soft, fresh, and it's a perfect summertime wine, everyday wine.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Mauricio. It's such a
You are very
pleasure to see
welcome.
you again. It's a real treat. And I'll get down to Argentina to visit you there one of these days when things open up again.
Please come
So
over.
looking forward to it.
Okay,
So
thank you very much to
yes.
everybody for your time. Bye-bye.
There. Okay, and last but certainly not least, thank you for your patience, Alfredo. He's with Fuego Blanco. How did I do with that? Fuego Blanco?
Yes,
And
Fuego Blanco.
yes, by the Milan family. And over to you, sir. You can talk about your wines.
Okay. Marco Mauricio set the high bar, so I will try to do my best in order to try to enjoy you and to tell you a little bit more about Argentina and the wines. But first of all, I wanted to introduce a little bit more about the family because this is a family business. They belong to Millán family. Basically the main activity of them are another business. They focus on supermarkets. So during the 2005, 2006, they decided to start with the wine business. So they started with a winery, but nowadays they own three different projects. You know, one of them is Fuego Blanco, then Mosquita Morta, and Bodega Toneles. So, but here we want to show you and to tell you a little bit more about the Fuego Blanco. And the first of all is Fuego Blanco is located in the Cordillera of the Andes, you know, in the west part of Argentina, in San Juan province. San Juan province is a little bit more to the north from Mendoza, and we are in a small valley that is called Pedernal. Pedernal, to give you a reference or to try to understand what is Pedernal, we have only, I think the total plantation of vineyards in Pedernal is 800 hectares. So the family bought a property there, and nowadays we have 100 hectares planted. And the important thing is about the Pedernal is the name of the winery is Fuego Blanco, because in the Pedernal Valley, we have a lot of, how do you say, lime, I think. I'm not sure about the word in English, but lime is like cal. Las caleras is a mineral that we extract from one side of the mountains, that not us, of course, you know, a factory, but they use it for construction. I'm not sure why, but you can see from the valley all the dust in suspension that is mineral, it's only lime, and it's look like a fire, a white fire. So that's why we use the name as Fuego Blanco. One important thing about Fuego Blanco or Pedernal Valley is that if you compare with Uco Valley or another regions, basically Uco Valley, Luján are in a slope, you know, you have the Andes and then you have all the valleys. In the case of Pedernal, we are surrounded by mountains. To the west, we have the Andes, and to the east, we have the pre-Andes. So it's a small valley surrounded by mountains. We are at 1,500 feet above 1,500 meters above sea level, and the characteristics that we obtain there are quite unique. As of course, you know, everybody will say that, all the producers, and it's true, because we are not making Coca-Cola. You know, it's impossible to do the same wine at the same winery, one vintage to another. So imagine for all the varieties, all the, you know, kind of all the way that you can make the wine, and for sure will taste different one year to the other. So, and it's beautiful because this gives us an opportunity to show you something different and to choose. You know, the best wine is the wine that you like it or you enjoy it. Nothing more than that. So getting back to Pedernal and to Fuego Blanco project, the idea is this is going to be our second year with Opimian. So the idea is to keep working with you, try to show you more wines. Unfortunately, you know, you talk about, Michael, you talk about temperature, you know, but here in Argentina, we are 32 degrees here in Mendoza. I'm here in Mendoza, and Pedernal is really close, probably 2 hours by car. So a lot of hot, luckily for us, and we are enjoying a great summer with a great expectation about the harvest. You know, for sure, Mauricio and Marco, you know, are preparing, or they already start with the vintage. So about the wines, the intention here is like to tell you a little bit more about Fuego Blanco, the terroir, the region. So we bring you for this year, the first is the Contraviento Rosé Malbec. I think this is the new release for Opimian. I think the number, I'm not sure about the number, is
2298.
Yes, thank you, Michael.
Okay.
About this rosé is 100% rosé from Pedernal, is a Malbec, and the idea here is to have a very fresh wine, really easy to drink, and you know, in all the Fuego Blanco wines, the philosophy is sort kind of what Mauricio said, talking about the new ways that winemakers made the wine. You know, no oak intervention, not. Here is easy wines. Sorry, I'm talking about the rosé, not the reds, but I try to figure out about the philosophy of Fuego Blanco. The wines are fruit forward style, minimum intervention with the oak. You know, the style and the probably the philosophy here of what we're trying to think is to have a terroir wine, a concept, trying to show a little bit more about Pedernal, but at the same time to make wines that simple wines to be drinking, no more than that, you know. Sometimes we get lost about thinking about we need to do this or to tell about that, or thinking about, you know, the profile, and it's simpler than that. It should bring you a bottle that probably you can have the Monday night or Friday night,
Right.
doesn't matter about that, but at the same time is to bring you something that is, we consider that we do a big effort, all, not only us, of course, Marco, Mauricio, all in Argentina, all over the world, and to tell you and to give you an opportunity to get into what we do. You know, is just proud that we have about that. So
What I like to say, Alfredo, about the rosé is that you're bottling summer down there now, and you'll ship summer to us, and then by the time we open these rosés here in Canada, we can be on the back deck and it'll be summer and warm. So
yes,
we'll
yes,
send the warmth
yes,
with you.
You will enjoy it in the summertime, and
Yes, that's right.
Okay, and the other thing is about the Pedernal. Is the concept to try to bring you, you know, something that is good acidity, as Mauricio said, not so late harvest, small yields. We are in the desert at the same time. You know, we are high altitude vineyards, but you know, less than 200 millimeters of rainfall. So that also allowed us to have something that is, as you know, you may say it, a very nice rosé with a good acidity, easy to drink. Of course, it's a Malbec, so the red fruits and the aromas are quite there, you know. And probably the idea is, you know, because it's a new wine, you are not able to taste the previous vintage, and it's really cold there, so I can understand if you're not having a rosé. But thinking about the possibilities of this wine, you know, this is a wine that is really fresh, good acidity, so probably you can enjoy with pizza, with green salad, sushi. As you say, Michael, this could be a Monday night wine to
That's right.
enjoy
An
in a
everyday
summer.
sipper.
Yes, in a summer, in a hot summer night.
And even on its own on the back deck, right? To have, you can sip it on its own. Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Then we move to the reds. You know, the first one is the 2299 is the Contraviento Malbec. One of the things that I didn't say about the contraviento means against the wind. So here we try to say this against the possibilities, against the opportunities, against everything, because again, we are in a desert. Nothing that is planted or none of any of the plants or vegetation that you will have in the valley, not only in Pedernal, of course, in all the Cordillera of the Andes, you can do it without the, you know, the work of the people there, you know. So this is against the possibilities. The limitation for us is water, and unfortunately is that is something that we need to take care of that. But Contraviento, we said, because that is against the odds, is against the possibilities. If you leave it there, it's impossible to have it. So thanks, you know, of everybody that is working in the vineyards, that we will have this one. So this is 100% Malbec, and the same way that we try to have a freshness, fruit forward style with the rosé is the same with the Malbec. The intention is to have 100% Malbec, to show you the fruit forward style and the typicity of the Pedernal Valley. But you know, it's Malbec. You are all members of Opimian, so you know about Malbecs. The idea is to show you how can change with different terroirs, but in this case, you can say that is a fruit forward side, red fruits, really easy to drink. Mid body, you know, is a wine that you drink it and you will enjoy it at the first time, and you know, you will hopefully drink all the bottle if you are at home, of course. So don't drive when you drink. And with this wine, probably we think that you can enjoy with pasta, with some tomato sauce, game meat, any kind of game meat. You know, in Argentina we are how do you say, vegetarians? You know, we have
Yes,
a lot
that's
of
right.
meat, but thank God you are in Canada and you have a lot of diversity, any kind of food, any kind of, different kind of fish, seafood, of course.
Yeah, we're very
But in
lucky.
this case, yes, and it's great. This is part of the intention to have wines to be, blended and to drink with with any kind of food.
And everybody will notice how many Malbecs we have listed in our offering. And it's because it is the single most favorite grape of Opimian members. That's why we offer them so many ways of enjoying Malbec, and they all sell wonderfully. So thank you for making so many good ones for us.
No, and at the same time, Michael, we really appreciate about the opportunity to what Opimian is doing, because everybody knows us about Malbec, but you are bringing diversity, different valleys, different regions, different opportunities for us. And of course, we are, I don't know, probably every 10 bottles that we export, 6 are Malbec. But this is try to say that in the end, it's not only the Malbec, it's the region. And hopefully, despite of the COVID situation, everybody will be able to, because of they drink Malbec, try to visit us to understand a little bit more about, how crazy is this and how it's enjoyable. It's beautiful. So I think this is an opportunity to show a little bit more of Argentinian, to the people, to everybody, what is doing here. So we really appreciate that.
Yeah, no, it's a pleasure.
Then I would like to mention just a little bit more, because we are talking about Malbec, but probably 2 more wines, and I will leave you. I will take no more time of you. The Cabernet Franc Malbec, that is the. Let me see. Sorry.
No, that's okay.
2301. That in this case is, of course, 40% Malbec and 60% Cabernet Franc. And this is quite a unique wine, because it's co-fermented. We pick up the grapes and we put it together, to make the wine. So it's quite unique and different to the other wines that you will see on the Fuego Blanco portfolio. And we think that probably Cabernet Franc is something that is quite new in Argentina. People is looking not people, sorry, wineries, winemakers, they are trying to do more with the Cabernet Franc, and which is great. In terms of how we can manage or develop the Cabernet Franc is fruit forward style, black fruits. So it's really easy to blend it and to enjoy it with like the Malbec. This is going to be the second harvest that we bring to the Opimian Club members. And I think it's a really special wine, because it's really fruit forward style and is able to blend it and to enjoy it with many kind of food. The Cabernet Franc, I don't know, we were thinking and talking about any kind of seafood is really goes well, because have sucrosity and good acidity, so allow you to to drink it and how do you say, wash your mouth while you are having the spicy food.
Cleanse,
Also
yes.
some kind of pasta. Yes, I think it's more American, but I know that for sure mac and cheese is something that you're gonna enjoy. Of course, all kind of grilled meat. But just sorry.
So and the Cab Franc can take the heat, can it? Or is it because you're in the Andes that you're a little higher up that you can grow Cab Franc successfully, or is it all over Argentina?
Yes, no, it's all over here. We are at the same time in the desert, but here, because of we are in the Andes and it's a slope, probably you will go up every 80 meters at the same latitude. You can go higher, and you will expect less temperature. Probably less temperature means colder nights, which means that the plant is allowed to rest at night, so will maintain more acidity. But that's the good thing, because you have thermal winds also is the other thing. During the morning you have any kind of wind, but then the surface starts to get hot and the heat going up, and this make this movement that will happen, that you have this wind and you have the Fuego Blanco, all it does in the surface. So yes, during day it's really hot, and during night it's really cold also.
Yeah, no, that's very good.
And I don't know if we have a few minutes more, but if you want, we can talk a little bit more
I
about
think it's worth talking about. Absolutely.
yes.
Yeah.
So the other opportunity or the other, passion of the Millán family is about the small boutique distillery that is called Tapaus. This is a really special gin because it's a gin made with a sorry, it's macerated with many botanicals, but basically what is really interesting is two things. The first one that is here is not a London dry gin because have some Malbec must in order to give you a little bit more sweetness. And the second one is the color. The color is given by the hibiscus flower. So this is a maceration among the other botanicals. That is the hibiscus flowers that give you the color. It's really nice to drink. Of course, Michael, is to be like the rosé in the summer
Yeah,
hot
and
nights.
then it's beautiful. It makes beautiful cocktails, I'm sure.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
and it's part of the portfolio of the spirit that we have in Tapaus, and it's really it's gin, so it's really easy to make. You need to have the tonic water, and then probably use some botanicals to add, but it's really enjoyable drink. And I don't know about the Canada, but here in Argentina, all the gins, the spirit, mostly the gins people start to drink more and more, and it's really nice to have it.
Great. And what the Opimian members should notice is that we have started offering spirits on most of our offerings, and it's not just any spirits. We're always looking for spirits that are made by our winemakers, and so we really appreciate that. And we know it comes from the same heart as making wine, right? So we just absolutely love that. Well, thank you so much, Alfredo. We really appreciate the time you've taken. And we're going to, we'll open it up to questions for all three of the speakers. And we're already at 10 after, so we won't take too much more time. But Paul is asking that is 2300 Malbec, is it heavier body than 2299? So 2299 is the
Fuego Blanco contra
right.
viento.
Yes.
Contra viento, and the other one is the Fuego Blanco Malbec. Yes, yes. The 2300 should expect a heavier body than the Contra Viento Malbec.
Right, and Maurizio wanted to share something about his Cab Franc as well, where I was asking the question about altitude. Mauricio, do you want to say something to the crowd? To the crowd, yes.
No, because I think Cabernet Franc is probably is becoming our second bestseller grape after Malbec. And when the people ask me why, I think could be for some reasons, but the ripening or the picking moment is similar like the Malbec, very similar. So we can ripe the grape properly, very well. It's a very productive grape, but when you control the yield, the concentration of the grape come, and the wine is wonderful. I remember in Chile, a few years ago, I introduced my Cabernet Franc to the Opimian members, and everybody say, no, we are not interested to try Cabernet Franc. I remember that. Everybody
Wow.
at the same time say the same. When they tasted the wine, they say, wow, this is not Cabernet Franc, because when I had the opportunity to talk with them, and they say, no, the Cabernet Franc we know is totally green. Our Cabernet Franc in Argentina is very bright, it's very smooth, and it's a powerful wine, but it's easy drink at the same time. So it's a fantastic wine. I can say, open your mind and try the Argentinian cabs in general. Cabernet Franc, we are talking about that now, but Cabernet Sauvignon is really good too. And I think because the weather condition we have, the combination, the continental weather, altitude, and everything, gave us a great opportunity to show, a different style of cabs in general.
Marvelous, thank you. And Alfredo actually said so, that I mean every wine is different, and that's the joy of wine, isn't it? That no matter well, even if you tried to make a wine the same as somebody else, it never would happen. And that's just wonderful about that. And that's why, you know, year after year, I mean, you've been getting 500 to 550 different wines Opimian members have in Canada, and we're upping that to upwards of 700 to 750 this coming year. And it's just wonderful that each one of them is unique in its own way. And we just have to try them all. I'm working through them one at a time myself. So as you can see from all the videos I do, it's I have the best job in the world, and I sure appreciate that. So thank you, Marcos and Alfredo and Mauricio for joining us, taking the time to do that. And thank you, Kim Tien. It's usually Anais, and Kim Tien came in and took care of this weekend so that Anais gets a weekend off for a change. And so thank you for doing that, Kim Tien. And thank you most of all to all of you Opimian members who have joined us today to find out more about our Argentinian offers. And maybe we'll see you on the Chili Cellar and Snap tomorrow. And again, thank you all, and have a good evening. Good evening. And I think we do have some people still in the afternoon, because we literally have people from across Canada, which is what, 6 time zones. It's absolutely amazing. So thank you, everybody, and have a good night. Oh yes, cheers. Thank you, Teresa. Cheers. Okay. Good night, all. And how do I leave? How do I go? Oh, I got it. Okay. Ciao, ciao.